Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, said in a blockbuster new report that Trump met the definition of a fascist and revealed that Trump praised Hitler and told military officials they should be more like Hitler's generals. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. We're less than 2 weeks away from a presidential election that has already been wild and unprecedented, and somehow it keeps getting crazier in just the last few days. Donald Trump told a story about a dead golfer's penis. Barack Obama rapped at a campaign event where he appeared alongside Eminem, and Tim Walz called Elon Musk a dip after Musk jumped on stage at a Trump rally and acted like, well, a dip. So that was what the right word choice. What's going on? I feel like I'm in a fugue state. You know that feeling when you get the flu and you wake up at 3 a.m. shivering but also sweating, and you stumble into the bathroom and flick on the lights and everything's spinning and you rummage through the drawer for the real Sudafed, you know, the good stuff. They hide behind the cashier because you have to show ID, you know, because you can use it to make meth and it's been expired for 2 years, but you take it anyway. And it immediately like dries you out, but it also revs your brain up like you're listening to a podcast of your own thoughts at 1.5 speed, and then you pass out. You wake up 24 hours later and you don't know what day it is, but you're hungry and nauseous at the same time. So you drag your ass to a drive-thru and the server's like weirdly familiar. And you think, where the am I? And he says, you're at McDonald's, bitch. And you think to yourself, oh, that was the good Sudafed. And he says, no, this is real life. And you say, wait, are you inside my head? And he says, I've always been inside your head. I reside deep within the recesses of human consciousness, and I can finally reveal the question at the heart of our collective existence. And you say, oh, okay, I'm ready. And he says, would you like fries with that? And then you wake up screaming at home in your bed and you think it was all just a dream. And then you turn on the TV and your dream is the news. That's how I feel all the time. The Republican candidate for president campaigned at Coachella and at a barbershop in the Bronx. He slinged fries at McDonald's like it was take your man-child to work day. He held a 40-minute dance party where he bopped around on stage to Ave Maria like a grandpa who got to pick one song at a wedding. This was the song that came with our Victrola when I was a boy. Why isn't anyone else dancing? Next, we're gonna do the theme from The Godfather. Everything's insane. For example, here's Donald Trump, a felon who incited a violent coup, who has threatened to use the military to round up the enemy within if he wins a second term, doing an interview with WWE wrestler The Undertaker, where he keeps asking The Undertaker if wrestling is real.
I've always wondered, because it's whether it's, you know, fun or, you know, entertainment, or you're still getting slammed around, right?
Yeah. Like
Does that ring take great absorption? In other words,
well, it's funny.
How often did it happen where you're fighting somebody and you made a mistake and he gets angry and he really goes at you?
Yeah, you know, back in the day.
What stops somebody from going nuts and really, you know, really starting a real fight?
It's kind of like the way I wish politics would get back to.
Yeah.
You know, I may not agree with you, but I can share a dressing room with you. I can shake your hand, and we can do business.
You ever get hurt so badly that you basically can't continue the match and you got to be, like, literally helped out and carried out?
It happens.
Give Trump a podcast. Just give him a podcast so he drops out, and I will listen to it. And I mean this, I will listen to it wherever I get my podcasts. I've never seen him more engaged in my life. The Undertaker is the one who keeps trying to bring it back to politics, and Trump's the one who wants to keep talking about wrestling. Right? He seems specifically very interested in head trauma. Did your head ever hurt so bad that you danced for over 40 minutes to Ave Maria? Trump was never this interested in anything when he was president. I've watched him stand in the background at pandemic briefings while scientists talked about pathogens and just fully space out, swaying back and forth like a drunk guy on a dinner cruise. I've seen him in actual cabinet meetings with government leaders where he's clearly spaced out, has no idea what's going on. He's got that vacant stare on his face like he's thinking, I wonder what The Undertaker's up to. Love to talk to The Undertaker about stuff. Doesn't give a about healthcare, foreign policy, but put him in a room with a wrestler, he's got a million questions. Same for his dumb McDonald's stunt. Happiest I've ever seen him.
Hello, everybody.
Sir.
My first day at McDonald's. I'm looking for a job. I like it all. I love McDonald's. I like every ounce of it, everything. It's a great setup, huh? Grab one while it's really hot. See if you can touch that sucker. I don't think so. Never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
I was always wondering, wow, that's pretty good. Keep it tight. Never touches the human hand.
Very good.
Nice and full. Nice and clean. Of course, my hands are nice and clean. How good is that, Margot? Here, Margot, have them. Watch this sucker. I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious. Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer out there.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, let's say. And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay?
It'll be about 2024.
Oh, you ordered some extra stuff.
Oh, okay, great.
This is all on Trump.
Oh, hold on, Trump.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Let's check and make sure it's
Okay.
everything you said it would be.
It better be. It's going to be the best you ever. I made it myself.
This whole time, you thought people at McDonald's were touching the French fries? You just been eating them the whole time? Also, I love when Trump tells the customers the food's on Trump. Be careful. If you went through that drive-thru, expect to get a bill from him in the mail. What the heck? McDonald's charges late fees. Also, nothing gives away that he's never worked a day in his life than somebody else having to tie his apron. Here we are, off to work. I got a feeling everybody else at McDonald's tying their own apron, dude. Just the working man. Trump managed to be both a ridiculous buffoon and an incredibly dangerous menace at the same time. For example, he campaigned in North Carolina this week where he once again lied about the federal government's hurricane response. His lies have caused real damage, put real people in harm's way. Disaster workers in North Carolina had to be relocated due to threats. And yet, while Trump was down there once again spreading dangerous lies about the hurricane recovery effort, he was also doing this.
I also own McDonald's restaurants. I know that you perfected your skills behind the counter a day or so ago, and it was my honor to present President Trump with the French fry certification pin.
Guys, was that clip we just saw, was that real or was that the Sudafed? That was real me. Look at that guy. It's like when they gave a kid some wings on an airplane. A former president just got a French fry certification pin. Maybe he can put it on his lapel like a Boy Scout badge, right next to his convicted felon pin and his cognitive decline pin. Thank you for the French fry. You know, they don't touch them. A lot of people don't know this. They're not putting their filthy hands in the French fries. This is what Donald Trump should be doing, talking to wrestlers and trying out jobs at McDonald's like he's hosting a reality show on TLC. Instead, he's in a dead heat to become the next president, and if he wins, even the people who worked for him in his first administration say he will govern as a dictator.
Is Donald Trump's former chief of staff, his longest-serving chief of staff, General John Kelly, is now going on the record 2 weeks before the election to say that Trump meets the definition of a fascist and said nice things about Hitler.
Do you think he's a fascist?
Well, I'm looking at the definition of fascism. It's a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy. Certainly, the former president is in the far-right area. He's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
It's amazing to hear an exasperated general go through the dictionary definition of fascism and tick off every box for Trump. Is he a fascist? Well, he calls his opponents vermin, scum, and the enemy within, says he wants to round up his critics and conduct mass deportation raids. He talks like a fascist, he acts like a fascist, he's friends with fascists, he compliments fascists. And the worst thing, he just got a pin that says, I'm a fascist. What makes John Kelly so sure Trump admires fascists? Well, among other things, Trump apparently praised Hitler. Yeah, that one.
He commented more than once that, that Hitler did some good things too. And of course, if you know history, again, I think he's lacking in that. But if you know what Hitler was all about, it'd be pretty hard to make an argument that he did anything good.
I like when Kelly says, if you know anything about history, I don't even think you have to know history. You can probably get all the info you need from Mel Brooks movies and Bugs Bunny cartoons. I think you just have to have heard the name Hitler once in your life to know you shouldn't compliment him. If you were raised in the woods from the moment you were born until the moment you turned 18, and you were shielded from all of human history and pop culture, and you emerged into the world for the first time and heard someone say the name Hitler, you'd immediately say, that guy sounds like bad news. Now, of course, it won't surprise you to hear that when Kelly explained why Hitler was, bad, Trump didn't really have a comeback for that.
What would you say when he said to you that Hitler did a lot of good things?
Well, I tell him that. I said, if you, first of all, you should never say that. But if you knew what Hitler was all about from the beginning to the end, everything he did was in support of his racist, fascist life, philosophy, so that nothing he did you could argue was good. It was certainly not done for the right reason. And but he would occasionally say that.
What would he say when you would lay that out to him?
He'd just, that'd be the end of the conversation usually.
Yeah, I would think so. Once you have to explain to someone that Hitler is bad, there's not much else to talk about. You don't see many first dates survive that. Everything Hitler did was in service of his racist, fascist philosophy. All right, well, agree to disagree. Did you know the floors in wrestling rings used to be super hard? In fact, Trump was specifically focused on Hitler's generals. According to Kelly, Trump asked John Kelly, his chief of staff at the time, why can't you be like the German generals? When Trump raised the subject of German generals, Kelly responded by asking, do you mean Bismarck's generals? He went on, I knew he didn't know who Bismarck was or about the Franco-Prussian War. I said, do you mean the Kaiser's generals? Surely you can't mean Hitler's generals. And he said, yeah, Hitler's generals. That's how insane Trump is. John Kelly was running through every other German general in his mind, begging Trump to take the out. It's like the worst game of celebrity of all time. Do you mean Kaiser Wilhelm's generals? No, keep going. Bismarck's generals, not him. The Habsburgs, Ferdinand II. Ooh, is it Prince Leopold, the first who fought Napoleon and became king of Belgium in 1831? Nope, sorry, we were looking for Hitler's generals. The best of the generals. Don't worry if the news alarms you. Trump's apologists and right-wing media have an explanation. Maybe Trump just didn't realize Hitler's generals were also Nazis.
He obviously has frustration, and I could absolutely see him going out. You know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals who are Nazis and whatever.
Everything Kilmeade said there, I think the worst was "and whatever." The lack of morality and integrity one has to have to go to work cleaning up Trump's affection for Hitler's generals is astounding. Why wouldn't Trump say, for example, FDR's generals or Truman's generals or Churchill's generals? Surely history shows they were pretty good listeners. There's only one good reason he likes Hitler. He's also bad at history because Hitler's generals he's so impressed with, they didn't even like Hitler. Some of them even tried to assassinate him, but that's beyond Trump's comprehension because he sees Hitler and he thinks, who couldn't like this guy? I'd love to meet him. I hope he comes to the drive-thru. It's a bombshell revelation, but you don't have to look far to find Trump's affection for dictators and his aspiration to be one. Just recently praised Chinese President Xi Jinping as brilliant for ruling with an iron fist. He said January 6th was a day of love, and he threatened to use the military to round up Democrats who he called the enemy within. Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, called Trump a fascist to the core, and General James Mattis, Trump's former defense secretary, said he agreed that Trump was a uniquely dangerous threat. If Trump destroys our democracy and creates a dictatorship, at least he can say,
I made it myself.
this has been a closer look.
Thanks for watching.